it's not my internet. Right, legends. Now it looks like I'm coming through. Eventually. Sorry about that, legends. I'm having some difficult. Right, legends. Oh, here we go. Let me know if you guys can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. Please post in the comments down below. It seems that I've had some technical issues. I've been talking to myself all by my lonesome over here, and it looks like the stream wasn't broadcasting. Hello. Right. Hi, Dewald. Hello, you all. All good. Thanks, Mr. Nut Financial Advice. I'm not sure if you guys missed the intro, but it looks like I have to repeat myself. Okay, nice and clear over here. Yes, we can see you, sir. Like, smash, Mr. Pac-Man in the house. Not Financial Advice in the house. Thanks to the mods for the support over here. It seems that I had some technical issues. Right. And let's do the intro once again. Now, the big question, legends, the big question. Are we going up or are we going down? Is this what we're seeing over here part of a corrective structure, or are we building impulses to the downside where we could potentially come and claim $90,000 again? We will go and look at the probabilities, and as per Friday's live stream, you guys know what I said on Friday's live stream, okay? I don't want to go pull up the live streams and show you guys, well, this is the level that I've been watching, this is what played out, whatever the case might be. Maybe the bull run is over, you know? I can't, or what's the word? I'm always fascinated by when people see a correction to the downside, okay, bull market is over. And when the price begins to pump to the upside, bull market is back, right? So, I mean, I have done some technical analysis in terms of when I believe the potential end for the bull market can be, right? An estimate, and when the bear market can potentially start again. And I have to say, I don't think the bull market is over just as yet. This is just a healthy correction after massive momentum here to the upside. Okay, nothing goes up in a straight line. And I see even from some of our favorite altcoins potentially buying or pulling back into potential buying areas. Okay, and this is why I also put in the title live trading, because there's maybe a bag or two that I want to scoop up from a swing trading perspective. Right, legends, now that you guys can hear me and now that you can see me, okay, it was quite strange, and this is what I led with when I opened up the stream. It was quite strange that we didn't see much of a bleed with the altcoins during this massive crash to the downside. But now that Bitcoin is ranging sideways, okay, alts are just crashing to the downside. And right, but I also see dominance is finding a little bit of strength here to the upside. And I mean dominance, okay, when dominance goes down, this is where we saw the love in the altcoins, okay, massive pumps, 100% pumps, everyone is excited, bull market is back. Bitcoin dominance has a slight retracement back to the upside, and now everyone is saying, okay, bull market is over, we're not going to hit the March all-time highs. I just see all the bullish or the bearish emotions flowing in at the moment, right? And that is what the market is. Some people say that these are emotions that go up and down. It's greed and fear, right? Greed and fear at the moment. Right, legends, in this live stream, we'll go through technical analysis here on the price of Bitcoin. I will also go through Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum looks like it's in a very juicy spot at the moment. I've done some macro analysis, Elliot wave counts on Ethereum. So in this live stream, I will share with you guys what I see on Ethereum as well, because Ethereum is one of those tokens. Once it starts ripping, ETH has been sleeping. We've been seeing layer ones and KDA and ADA. We've seen a lot of altcoins explode into the air, especially the meme ecosystem. But ETH has just been sleeping. The sleeping giant still needs to wake up. So in today's episode, we will go through some ETH analysis and also some buying areas that I'm looking at for some of my favorite altcoins. Elizabeth, welcome, welcome. Always appreciate the beautiful comments that you write after the fact. What a day, buying opportunity. Yes, it could potentially be a great buying opportunity. You sound South African. Leonard, yes, I am from South Africa. I'm long in my chain link anyways. Yes, I mean, for those of you that's been buying the bottoms, okay, at some of the great coins, like which one can we pull up over here? Let's just open up this tab and let's look at Algorand, right? I can tell you guys now, when I look at the price of Algorand here on the daily time frame, just wait for it to load up, right? If you bought in the accumulation, which we refer to as the train station, if you bought in the accumulation zone over here and you have a beautiful entry in the zone down below, right? Any pullback is potentially just healthy, well, is healthy, and you could potentially just continue momentum back to the upside. So you are not worried, you're relaxed. Okay, and if you are panicking out because of small little corrections to the downside, considering the massive pump to the upside, okay, you need to learn some patience. You need to learn to control your emotions. Okay, you're in it for the long run. Okay, we did hit a TP area, by the way, yeah, on Algo, right? 1.618 that I've highlighted during many live streams. Always a TP1 area. We even hit the 2 area over here, and I always highlight these 2 areas as take profit areas. Okay, not necessarily close your position. Perhaps you take 50% off the table or 60% off the table and you leave the rest for moon back to the upside, because it can still get massively insane here to the upside. Right, legends, let me go through the comments and then we can dive into the technical analysis. Are we seeing reverse Adam and Eve? Yeah, we can check that out. Adam and Eve, right? We'll check that out. I will go through the probabilities in a moment. I mean, there are so many patterns, right? You have the 3 rivers and the broken bridge, and you have, I don't know, the Adam and the Eve, and you have all these crazy patterns, the 3 tops, right? Who else is here? Burmy? Pac-Man said you would do TA on USDT. USDT, please. Okay, I will go and check that out. But first, we're going to do technical analysis on Bitcoin. Right, Irina, welcome to the live stream. Always great to see you here. Remember when we used to get Andy looking for fake coins? Yes, please tell the view. Please tell the view of BTC and support level, sir. Yes, I'm going to do that. Ravi Kumar, I'm going to do the technical analysis here on the price of Bitcoin and also discuss the probabilities. Okay. Nearly at 50 likes, legends. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love that you guys share. Yeah, almost at 50 likes, right? And let's go. BTC to 90K. When you're long, you don't afraid. Right, and it's usually when you get a dump to the downside, when things looks really scary. I can tell you guys now, you know, looking at Algo here again, when Algo was trading over here, most people were too scared to buy. We're going down lower, right? People see red candles on their screen and they're too scared to buy. They see a pump, then they come onto the live stream and they ask, can I buy? No, you must buy when there's fear in the market, right? That's just market psychology one-on-one. You buy when it's uncomfortable to buy, when there's blood in the streets, okay? And you sell when there's greed. And, you know, I always like to say, when you start showing off your P&Ls to your friends and family, and you're like, look how much I made, you know, look how much I'm up 200%, 3x on this coin. When you start bragging about your profits, it is usually the best time to take those profits. Okay, right, legends, let's dive into the technical analysis here on Bitcoin. Then we'll go through Ethereum, and then we're going to go and have a look at some beautiful altcoins. Okay, let's dive in from a simplicity perspective, legends. Okay, let's go from a simplicity perspective and we can go get a little bit more technical. From a simplicity perspective, I'm looking at this momentum that we are still keeping here to the upside. Okay, higher low, a little bit of a flash crash, I would, you know, liquidity grab over here, but the structure is still up. Structure is still up. Okay, the trend is your friend until the end, and the momentum is still to the upside even with this flash crash, and it happens often when you are in bull market territory. price climbs towards the upside, and at some stage it just flushes out high leverage positions, liquidates them, resets the market, and then it continues. Okay, it happens very often, so be very careful with high leverage positions. You need to apply great risk management. Okay, so legends, from a simplicity perspective, you can see that we have upwards momentum here. Okay, we have broken out of this diagonal trend over here, broke out, had the fake out to the downside, got acceptance back above, and as long as price is trading above the trend, it is still bullish. Okay, you have broken out. You are maybe just coming back here for a retest and then continuation back to the upside. As long as you're trading above trend over here, things still looks pretty damn good for Bitcoin. Okay, from a simplicity perspective, okay, also another thing that I'm keeping an eye on is this little trend over here. So if you do not know what to do over here, okay, just wait for the break of the trend. Okay, it can come down, it can go sideways, but eventually when it breaks out, there is a trading opportunity knocking on the door, and then you can make a trading decision based on the price action that you see when we do eventually break the trend, right? We have a beautiful 45-degree trend running here to the downside. So this is the simplest trading strategy that I often talk about, the D-line trading strategy. So if you're unsure what to do over here, okay, you don't have a trading strategy in terms of how to get into the SFPs, the Fibonacci levels, you don't know how to use those tools, just wait for the trend to break. Right, now, as I was saying, legends, as long as we trade above, things still looks good, right? We also have double diagonal resistance and this little cross over here. And if price had to consolidate and dip into that cross, it's usually a great support zone. Okay, great support zone. If it had to consolidate sideways and it makes one more low, that could be the low, okay, that breaks the trend to the upside. Right. So that is the simplicity of what I see here inside of the structure. Another thing I want to point out, legends, and I have spoken about this on Friday, when I look at this little mini structure that you see over here, okay, just take a snapshot in your mind, a photo memory of what you see over here. Price is chopping to the upside. It has a little bit of a flash crash, grabs the liquidity, stops out all the high leverage positions. And then now we are where we are. I have seen this movie before. Okay, I have seen this movie before. Right, you chop. You have the flash crash and you go sideways, and then you find upwards momentum. Even inside of this zone, okay, you had that flash crash, but you still found upwards momentum to go and claim the high. Yes, it did eventually, after claiming the high, it came down for a deeper retracement, but you can see that the momentum is still up. Even with this low over here, momentum is still up. Okay, so I'm still heavily in the camp of it, regardless of how deep Bitcoin corrects, whether we take $90,000 or we go to $85,000, we are still in bullish macro structure. And there's a lot that's going to have to happen for us to just say the bull market is over and we're going into a bear market. Okay. Right, legends. I mean, there is even still the possibility, you know, what if it gets really nasty here to the downside? I really like this zone over here, okay? $85,000. If things get really ugly here to the upside, you maybe wake up, your alarms go off, and you see this, you need to pay attention. Because as soon as price gets acceptance back above, and I see this price action, it dips below and it starts trading above this low over here, I will definitely attempt a swing long to go and claim the highs and even go to higher levels. Okay. This is also referred to as the range low strategy, and you guys know how powerful the range low strategy can be. It plays out often. You want to see the tap and go, or if you close high time frame candles below this level, you have the potential of coming to fill the inefficiency. But then what I want to show you is worst Worst case scenario, Dewald, the bull market is over. We're coming down for a larger corrective structure. Even if you come down to $67,000, right? I just want to show you guys here. Let's just look at this entire structure here to the upside, okay? Even if you come, let me just paint that out again so it looks nice and neat. Okay, even if you come down to $67,000, you're basically correcting this entire impulse here to the upside. And it chops and it comes down and it continues momentum back to the upside. The trend is still up. You are still making higher highs and you are still making higher lows. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, worst case scenario, if things get really dangerous here to the downside at 67, I can just imagine we're on a bear market. Okay, I can see the thumbnails, I can see social media, bull market is cancelled. Okay, if things get really ugly, you are still in bullish momentum. You are still forming higher lows. Okay, I do think that there's a low probability in us hitting this level over here, but I just want to point out that even if you fall that low, the bull market can still continue to the upside. Okay, right, legends, I think what's most important is let's zoom into the structure where we are right now and go and assess the probabilities. Okay, so first thing that I always start with is from an Elliot wave perspective. So we go on to the 8-hour time frame and let's just see and take stock of where we can like to be. Okay, and I like to refer to this scenario over here. And I know it looks very messy. I'm just going to take the green out there. Okay, so we can just focus on this little structure over here. So focus on orange and red. And I know it looks really messy, but I mean, I can take you guys through it so that it is very self-explanatory. So yeah, I do see a 1-2 in orange. And in red, I also see another 1-2, where you basically have 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. Okay, double 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now we have potentially finished the red structure, where you can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. And now you have finished the third wave in the orange structure. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This is potentially 4 over here with this weak here to the downside, and we are now building a 5th wave, okay, a 5th wave here to the upside to complete orange 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then perhaps we can expect a deeper correction to the downside. But I think based on this structure over here, one more high needs to be made. Okay, hope that makes sense. Cool. So in saying this, when I go back here onto the 1-hour time frame and I just take the noise here out the chart, there is still a slight higher probability that this is the low for now. Okay, and whatever is forming over here, right, is part of an impulse that's going to take us past the high at some stage. I mean, it can still get choppy sideways, and then it makes the move. But I did say in Friday's live stream that I would like to see a deeper retracement so that we can at least hit a proper FIB level. And I think we were trading over here when I did my live stream on Friday. And when you take a FIB, okay, from the low to the high that we've made, I told the legends, okay, we were getting this little bit of a correction here to the downside. Okay, it looked like we wanted to fall to the downside, and we did not tap the 0.382, which I consider a major minimum FIB level. You do get bounces on the 0.236, okay, in massive bullish momentum, and we didn't even tap the 0.236. And the other thing that I mentioned is to say that if price continues to move to the upside without hitting a major FIB level, I will simply move my FIB to the highest pivot that we create, because we might not be finished with the structure to the upside. And then when we have a deeper correction, that's when I'm going to pay attention. Okay, now first level to the downside that we have almost tapped almost, okay? Now, this is the first long opportunity that I'm looking at. I hope we're not going to get a front run over here, but did it tap it? It actually did tap the 0.382. Okay, so first point of order, legends, is that usually when you have an impulse to the upside and you come back for a retest at a major fib level for the first time, you usually get a nice reaction back to the upside. This could be the reaction that takes the highs, okay, or it could form yet again another lower high and it comes down to the 50% fib level. But these are the levels where you want to pay attention, because this could be forming a 1, 2, 3 to the upside to build those impulses back to the upside to go and complete that fifth wave that I've just shared with you. So I am still leaning in the camp that we are going to get upwards momentum to potentially even come and claim this high over here until it is invalidated. And my invalidation is $92,700, 477, because if you are forming a 1, 2 to the downside, this is usually your maximum bouncing area for bullish momentum to continue to the upside. Right. The other thing I wanted to check is, excuse me, weekly levels. Did we tap the weekly? We front run the weekly level, but we did tap the 0.382, and I think that is what's explaining the little bit of a reaction that we're getting here at the moment, is because we tapped the 0.382 now for the first time, and you usually get a reaction. And I mean, we tapped it to the dollar almost. I mean, depending on how you draw your fib, it looks like we almost tapped it, or we did tap it, but I mean, we are getting the reaction at the moment. Okay, right. Now, legends, I mean, from a simplicity perspective, well, I know it's not simple. Technical analysis is trading is never simple. It's basically about observing the price reaction as we hit each level. But now when I switch on my weekly levels, I switch on my daily levels, and I switch on my point of controls, now I have some areas of confluence. And the same way that I worked out this target, okay, for an insane short here to the downside, and the same way I knew exactly where this pivot is going to end, I can calculate that if the correction is going to continue to the downside, what is the maximum level from a retracement perspective that I need to keep an eye on. Because do you guys remember, okay, when you take a fib from the high to the low over here, I mentioned the 1.236 and the 1.382 to the upside is where we're potentially going to get the rejection. Do you guys remember? 1.382, 1.236. We rejected in the zone, and I still highlighted that if you tap the 1.618, we're most likely going to continue momentum to the upside. So if you want to short, yeah, this is where you want to short. You have your stop loss above the high, you're speculating on lower levels, and I mean, we did not tap the 1.618, and we got a rejection in this box. Okay, then measuring the move to the downside, okay, is you take, let me take that one out. You basically now take your trend-based fib from the high to the low to the highest point over there. I reverse it, and you guys know it, you know it, okay. We tapped the 1.618 to perfection, where we discussed the possibility of an A, B, C to the downside, 1.618 being the maximum target for corrective structure to the downside. Tapped it to perfection, and we got this massive recovery back to the upside. And I mean, we're still trading sideways and very far away from this pivot over here. Okay, now what I've shown you over here, what I do with the fib extensions, I can also apply this inside of this structure. This is where things get very interesting. So I can now zoom into the structure. Let's go on to the 15-minute time frame. Zoom out ever so slightly. Okay. Take this fib out the way. Now, legends, what I'm looking at is I'm looking at this structure over here. This high and this low and this high, because this is the highest point of this structure, Okay, this is the lowest point to the highest point. That's usually how I measure a wave to the downside. I'm trying to measure this wave and how deep this wave can go, right? It's the easiest way that I can explain it. You take your fib extension from the high to the low to the high, okay? And now we're building up some confluence. Right, so currently getting the reaction at the 0.382, like I've mentioned, that's why we're currently getting the reaction. We got a reaction at the 786 when we tapped it for the first time. Nice reaction, 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 reaction. So these reactions at these fib levels tell me that this is a valid fib pool. Usually when I draw a Fibonacci like this and I can see the reaction at the levels, then I know it's a valid fib pool. When price consolidates between the levels and it doesn't really tap the levels properly, you've most probably drawn the fib incorrectly. Okay, so this is a quick back test that you can do to see if you are doing this correctly. Even when we tap the 1-to-1 extension over here, beautiful reaction. Okay, and this was one of the trades that I highlighted inside of our Legends Discord community this morning. Guys, this looks like the best trade. We have a weekly level, we have a daily level, we have the 1.236. You're sweeping up the liquidity below these lows. This definitely does still look like the best long entry to the upside. And then I said, if the market is going to front run us over here, it's most likely going to bounce here by a naked point of control in confluence with a 1-to-1 extension. And then we got a nice bounce here to the upside. Right, so I'm not sure who took that trade, but I also told the legends what I usually look for is the candle closes on the 15-minute, 1-hour time frame. And I mean, those things didn't pan out the way that I wanted, so I didn't take the long. But there's something that I will share with the legends tomorrow. We're going to change that strategy ever so slightly. Okay. Koen said that the week can't be the low for the fourth wave. Well, it's all a game of probabilities, okay? There is still a probability that we can go down lower, okay? But I guess what I'm trying to highlight, until there are no more targets, okay, before we take the low, I, as a technical trader, can observe the price reaction at each target and see if I spot strength or if I spot weakness. And until we've invalidated the structure, okay, then yes, we can go down lower. We have a daily level at, let's call it $89,000. We have another point of control and a daily level at $87,000, right? So it's all a game of probabilities. Okay, we also, when I look at CVD, legends, if I look at CVD here, let's go on to the 15-minute time frame. Something looks wrong here. Let me just try and refresh it again. Ooh, it's not working. Right, I will wait for that to load up. Let me just refresh it again. And while it waits to load up, there is insane bullish CVD against this pivot, against this pivot, against this pivot, and where price is at the moment. Insane bullish CVD building up. So regardless, from an Elliott wave perspective, okay, if you knew nothing about Elliott wave theory and you start building up insane bullish CVD as price is making, you know, the dips to the downside against these pivots, you do increase the probabilities that you are most likely going to get a bounce at some stage. As long as the bullish CVD keeps on building up, and more locally, you just don't want to spot any weakness on CVD. Okay. Right, so legends, this is what we do from a technical perspective, is we look for areas of confluence. We got the bounce. We identified this level this morning, and we said we're most likely going to get a bounce there. 1-to-1 extension, naked point of control, beautiful trade to the upside. Okay, and it might not look significant, but I can tell you now with a large enough position size, like Andy, I saw Andy in his live stream, made over $500 with that trade. Okay. You can make $1,000, $2,000, depending on your position size, the risk management, and where you take profits. Okay. Right, legends, and remember, if you'd like to come and trade this with me, down in the description. Let me just see if this is all working. You click on more down in the description, and I've got 2 of my favorite exchanges that I'm using at the moment. And I'm building a little bit of a swing trade here on Bluffin. Okay, I've got Bluffin and I've got Weeks. Weeks with the lowest trading fees. Okay, if you only want to sign up with an email and a password, Weeks is the way to go, and then Bluffin. Okay. Right, legends, let's get back into the technical analysis. Okay, so legends, to the downside, okay, and we might get a recovery here back to the upside, but I think this is why I'm waiting for CVD to load up. I think I spotted some bearish, local bearish CVD over here. Not sure, we'll have to confirm once that loads up. Oh, here we go. So on the 15-minute time frame, you can see, okay, on the 15-minute time frame, I mean, what can I say? Okay, CVD is absolutely tanking to the downside. What does this tell you? This tells you that retail is trying to push price down and smart money is absorbing the shorts through limit orders. Okay. And I remember who won this battle the previous round. Okay, do you guys, I've spoken about the CVD. Who won the CVD the battle in the previous round? Before we had this price action, price was grinding to the upside, and with every dip, CVD just absolutely tanked to the downside. Absolutely just tanked. And I told everyone, I've seen this movie before. When price chops to the upside and with every little dip you form bullish CVD, that high, I mean, is just highly likely to be taken. And then we took the high. That was your target. This bullish CVD was insane, but it has now played out because that was your target and we took the target. So now I'm not interested in this CVD anymore. I'm now interested in this CVD over here. Okay, so now when I zoom into this price action, like I've shown everyone, against this pivot, we are forming some insane bullish CVD, which tells me that this could be the low for now. Okay, my analysis is based on technical analysis and what the data is telling me. It's as simple as that. Okay, based on the data that I see in front of me right now, okay, we could still get a bounce somewhere in this zone. Okay, that's what I'm trying to highlight, legends. Okay, and we do have some areas of confluence. So when I do a fib retracement for this little structure to the downside, we have already had a reaction at the 786. We've had a reaction at the 1-to-1 extension, and these are common. Okay, the 1-to-1 and the 1.236 is very common retracement targets, and I will discuss that in some of the altcoins that I'm looking at as well. Okay, we ever so slightly front run the 1.236. So if price had to come down, it taps the weekly level, even the daily level, and it gets acceptance back above. If I see that price action, I will attempt a long if I'm awake. Okay, I'm not going to put limit orders there because I don't trade with limit orders. 99% of my trades I do through market orders. Right, but you are sweeping up the liquidity below the lows. You are hitting massive support. You have a weekly and a daily level almost together over there. You're hitting a common retracement target where what if this is the impulse, this is the retracement, and then you continue momentum back to the upside. A little bit further down, we have the 1.618, okay? And you all, like I've shown, this hit the 1.618, and that 1.618 is an absolute magical number, right? If price had to find weakness and it gets really scary here to the downside, I'm going to pay attention to this level. The 1.618, I'm going to pay very close attention to the 1.618 and even the 2 over here. Okay. Because I have seen the 2 tap as well during retracements, but the most common from a retracement perspective is the 1.618, which is considered an extended retracement. Ideally, you want to find support here, but if it gets nasty to the downside, like over here, you generally tap the 1.618 for a reaction. But now I want to see, well, do we have areas of confluence? I will take a fib from the low to the high. Okay, we do have the 50%. So there's some confluence over here. Okay, you have the 1.618, you have the 50% FIP retracement, but as a technical trader, I know what I'm looking for over here. So if price comes down, I know what to look for in order to enter this trade. I want price to dip down below, and I wanted to get acceptance back above these levels. That to me will be a potential long with great risk management. That is why we trade with stop losses, because the market is unpredictable and it's easier to surprise us. But from a technical perspective, I trade probabilities. Okay, and if I see this price action, there will be a high probability that we can find upwards momentum. But the first area of interest is this zone. Second area of interest is this zone. And then last area of interest is the 0.618 at the 2 fib extension. Then I also want to highlight, it is considered a very rare target, but I have seen it play out on the price of Bitcoin, the 2.618, because I like the confluence over here. If things get really nasty to the downside, I have seen corrective structures go to the 2.618. It is not common, it is considered rare, but I have seen it play out on Bitcoin. Right, the 2 extension together with the 786 if things get really nasty, and this would be the last zone that I will be looking for along. If this one doesn't play out, and this one doesn't play out, and this one doesn't play out, this is the last area of interest for me, okay, where this structure could potentially still be bullish to go and claim the highs over here. Right, and even go into price discovery, who knows? Okay, cool, legends. So now we've done the technical analysis here on Bitcoin. The only thing I also want to point out is, and I'm sure you guys have seen it on Andy's live stream as well, but I mean, technical analysis is technical analysis at the end of the day. When I take a fib here from the high to the low and I drag it across, okay, from a shorting perspective, okay, we have to just play out the scenario. What if we dip down here below? We get nice momentum here to the upside. I'm still looking at the 0.88 together with a naked point of control, which is basically where the most amount of volume was traded inside of this range. I will be paying attention. If I catch this long, I will definitely consider taking profits in this zone if we get there. And if I miss this long, I'm sleeping, something happens, I can't take the trade, and we are trading over here, I will be paying attention to a potential short to the downside that can come and sweep up these lows once again. Okay, where you could be forming a flat, I mean an ABC, 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 sorry, and then this is a larger ABC, WXY. But point that I'm trying to make is you can create another flat where you claim the liquidity above the highs and you claim the liquidity below the lows. Exactly what happened over here. You claimed, you stopped out all the shorts, you stopped out all the longs, and this can also happen here because you have to remember what happens over weekends. Okay? When price goes sideways, especially during a weekend, when price goes sideways like this, do you know what happens? Liquidity builds up above and liquidity builds up below, okay? Because it sets the trap, right? Who's going to be stopped out? And often what the market makers will do is they will wipe out both sides of the equation. So what if you get a flat that does that? Okay, and then momentum continues. It stops out all of the shorts, it stops out all of the early longs, and then momentum continues back to the upside. Exactly what happened in this structure over here. Okay, there was just so much longs and shorts piling up in this zone. Do you guys remember? Okay, and I said from a psychology perspective, it would be beautiful to see an ABC flat. You had so many shorts built up here and you had so many longs below this pivot, and then you just go whap whap, you stop all of them out, wipe it out, wipe it out. Okay, now you have again shorts and you have longs, and I wouldn't be surprised to see whap up Right, we need to give it a name, right? It just wipes out both sides of the market, resets the funding rates, and then momentum continues to whichever direction it was meant to continue in. Most likely up, okay, based on probabilities. Okay, so legends, this is basically the levels that I'm watching. And for those of you that believe, okay, and it's not that I don't believe we can get there, I'm just a technical trader saying that I am looking for longing opportunities because I still have areas of confluence that I can pay attention to. But if things get really, really nasty to the downside and we just fall, okay, where this is not the low for the structure, right? We still have an untapped daily level at $89,000, and we have a very strong weekly point of control together with a daily level at these pivots over here. So I wouldn't be surprised, okay, if things get really nasty, I will still be paying attention very closely at $87,000. Right, these weekly naked point of controls, okay, are very strong levels. AR, please, I will go through that in a moment. Mariela, welcome to the live stream. Dear Mots, D-Line, happy to catch this golden live stream. Just woke up at 6 a.m. to smash this like. Thank you so much, Mariela. Go make a cup of coffee. All right, I'll take it nice, easy, and slow. Hi, Dewald, can you look at... Okay, I see a lot of altcoin requests coming through, Legends. I will get through that in a moment. Okay, just wanted to wrap up the Bitcoin analysis, and now I want to go through some ETH, and then we can go and have a look at all the party coins that you guys would like me to have a look at. And I will also share with you opportunities that I'm looking to potentially swing trade at the moment. Okay. Right, that is basically what I wanted to point out over here. Is there anything else? Not much that I can think of at the moment. Okay, cool. Legends, let's go here onto ETH, and remember, if you'd like to come and trade ETH or Bitcoin with me, also your way to support the channel, down in the bottom of this description under exchanges, I've got Bluffin. I believe they still have the 10% cash back, okay, but on a smaller amount, not the $2,000 that ended on Sunday or on Friday, and then weeks up to $20,000 sign up bonus, and one of the exchanges where you only need an email and a password to sign up, down in the description. Okay, cool, Legends. So for the biggest bonus, sign up bonuses, and the lowest trading fees, go and use the links down in the description. Let's get back here into the technical analysis. Murad, great live session, Dewald. Thank you so much. Smash the like, folks. Yes, 100 likes. Woo, nice. Okay, Legends, now let's dive into Ethereum. Ethereum has actually just hit an interesting zone for me. Okay, you're awesome as always. I know you trade the chart in front of you, but what do you think about the correlation of BTC with the global M2 money flow? Thanks. I don't look at the correlation at all. So, Starling, I appreciate the comment and thank you so much for the kind words, but I don't look at the correlation at all. I cannot lie and tell you that I do. Sometimes I don't, right? It's never formed part of my trading strategy, and if I'm making consistent profits weeks after week, month after month, then, you know, and I have a trading strategy that works, I don't want to overcomplicate it by looking at other things. Okay. Cool, Legends. So ETH is in a very interesting zone, but before I get to the smaller time frames over here, I want to show you guys something on the weekly. Okay, let's do a little bit of Elliott wave theory over here. I just want to switch off some stuff, not to give anything away. Right, okay, can switch that off. Okay. So, Legends, I'm going to keep it very simple here from a technical perspective and just say the nice and the beautiful thing about Elliott wave theory is that it provides directional bias. Okay, so from a macro perspective, there's a couple of things that I'm looking at, and what I'm seeing over here, I still think that there's a much higher chance to find upwards momentum to go and claim the all-time high than going to claim this low and we go into a bear market. So now you might ask me, why, Dewald? Okay, so there's a couple of things that I picked up. So I have prepared a couple of things over here. First thing I look at is the following. When I take a fib retracement, and I'm here on the lock scale, so your chart might not look exactly like mine because I'm using the logarithmic scale. It's just better to analyze on the weekly and daily time frames. Okay, when I take a fib from, when I take a fib from the high to the low of the structure, this retracement, I'm not on the log scale. That's why it's not working, okay? These two retracements tapped the 0.88, which I've highlighted, which increases the probabilities that even with a retracement, you're going to come and claim the highs. Okay, so that's the one thing I picked up. Also, I can see a three-wave structure here to the downside, okay? And where's the fifth wave? So if you want to create impulses to the downside to continue a bear market, okay, you should not tap the 0.618 when you find upwards momentum. So if I saw a 5-wave structure to the downside, I would have said, okay, if I saw this and it ended over here, I would have said whatever is happening here could be corrective because you've built 5-wave impulses to the downside, and this could be a corrective structure where you don't take the high and then you're going to build another impulse back to the downside. So because we did not form this low over here and we tapped the 0.618 and we made a 3-wave structure, this looks impulsive, this looks corrective. Okay. And I know Picasso is hard at work over here drawing out all these things, right? And now we are where we are. So I just want to make sure, why is those scribble? Okay, now I can take this out the way. Okay, cool. So now I have sort of directional bias. The one scenario I want to share with you guys is the bearish/bullish scenario here on the price of ETH. Someone asked me, Dewald, do you think we can still get a correction on ETH for me to fill up my spot bags? Okay, the only bearish scenario that I see here at the moment is potentially an ABC and a W, an ABC in X, basically a double zigzag, and then another ABC to the downside that could go down as low as $1,427. Okay, so there is the potential for downwards momentum on ETH, but it's not guaranteed that this is definitely going to play out. So if you waiting for this level, it might never come. Okay. Right, but now at least we do have a bearish level that if we do hit that level, I'm going to be paying attention. Right, in the most bullish case scenario, so let me take this one out, switch on the bullish case scenario over here, is that we have finished the corrective structure to the downside in an ABC, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a diagonal, which formed wave 1. This is potentially wave 2, and we are still in the formation of the third wave, which is not finished. So you might not get that correction. Okay, this is now the conundrum that we sit at, right? We might not get the correction to the downside, because if you are forming a 1 and this is 2, if we do make a deeper correction to the downside, I will simply move my 2 to over there. It is still bullish in a 1, 2, and you still expect that face melting price action from Ethereum in the third wave. But for now, this is the price action that we have. Let me just do this, put it all back together. Right, so if you are waiting for a pullback on ETH, it might not come. And this is why when I zoom into the smaller time frames to see, well, where's the buying opportunities there? I want to see where's the buying opportunities inside of this zone. Because also when I zoom in and I look at volume, okay, when I look at this volume candle over here, if this is 1, 2, 1, 2, it's building up momentum to shoot here to the upside. Most amount of volume is usually in your third wave, which is not yet done. So momentum could potentially still continue because the most amount of volume is currently in this move. Okay, when you complete a fourth wave and you go up for another high that takes the high of 3, it's usually done with less volume than the third wave. And that's also a trick on how you can see that the 5-wave structure is coming to an end, because you're making another high on lower volume compared to the volume that was inside your third wave. So your third waves usually has those, those nice little green candles, and your fifth wave has green candles but to a lower degree. Okay, so we could potentially, when I look at this structure here on the weekly or even the daily time frame, we could potentially still be inside of the third wave, which is not done. Right, so now I'm going to zoom into this price action to show you guys what I'm looking at. Okay, cool. So now let's go on to, shall we go do the 1 hour time frame? Okay, now this is where things become interesting. Okay, because I do see a massive momentum here to the upside. And now the question is, how deep are we going to retrace? And usually the retracements are 3-wave structures. Okay, so this could have been the end of the impulse in an ABC flat. Okay, this could have been the end of the impulse in an ABC 3-wave structure. Okay, now the question is, was this the end of the impulse or was this the end of the impulse, right? But I'm now very interested in this corrective structure over here. Okay, so first thing that I sometimes like to do is I go and measure the previous corrective structures to see, well, where can this corrective structure end? Okay, so I will just go and play around with the structures. So if this is an A, B, C, where did it tap? The 1.382. Okay, so it found support here by the 1.382. Interesting. Then I go and do the next one. Okay, if this was the pivot, that was the low. Okay, found support at the 1.618. Can you guys see? Beautiful. 1.618. 1.618. Beautiful tap, and we got upwards momentum. So 3-wave corrective structure, 3-wave corrective structure. And now the question is, let's go measure this corrective structure over here. Okay, the first thing I want to do is to see that, is this the end of the impulse or is this the end of the impulse? And then what I do is I take a trend-based fib from the high to the low. I reverse it. If it went past the 1.382, literally just tapped it. Okay, so this could be A, B, C. That's still forming. Or this is, okay, I'm going to do both ways regardless. Okay, so first area that I will be watching at is, what if this is A, B, C, reverse it. Okay, now this is where things become interesting. Right? If I use this method that I've used on all the corrective structures, now we have some target areas to pay attention to. You can see that we are currently consolidating by the 0.786. Okay, 1-to-1 extension still a little bit further down, 1.236 and the 1.618. These are all targets that I will definitely be keeping an eye on, especially if we hit the 1.618 at $3,600. Okay, just want to put this back in regular scale. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, cool. So if ETH taps the 1-to-1 extension and it gets acceptance back above this low, right, that's going to look bullish. So that's the price action that I want to see over there. But there's also another way that I used this morning where it respected the fib levels very nicely. Okay, so I just want to see if it has confluence from this high to this low to this high. So what I'm now doing is I am measuring this corrective structure. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And we have just tapped the 1.236 to perfection. So let me take this one out the way just to clean it up a bit. Okay, that looks better. I do like the reaction that we are getting at each fib level so far. 1-to-1 extension, 0.618, tap the 1.236 to perfection, and I will be very interested in the 1.618, and I think that also aligns with the 1-to-1 extension when you do this fib retracement. Then when I take a normal fib retracement from this high, or from this low to the high, okay, that's also where we have the 0.618, more or less. Okay, so if the correction gets nasty to the downside, I'm interested in this area for potential long on ETH. Okay, and if you don't know what to do over here, you don't know how to play swing failure patterns, you going a bit crazy with the leverage and you're bleeding out your account, wait for the break of the trend, because you know that's the simplest way. If I'm sleeping and I miss the trade here on ETH, what I will do is, okay, maybe I missed it, maybe this plays out to perfection, it breaks the trend, there's another opportunity for you to get into a trade, to go claim the highs and go into higher levels. I almost wanted to say price discovery, and I realized ETH didn't claim the highs just as yet. Okay, so legends, this area still $3,700 still looks like a really good zone. Okay, and even the 50% fib level over here with these two retracement targets looks really good. And this is where ETH is currently getting a reaction, but it has not tapped the 50% fib level just as yet. Okay, but this zone, okay, in summary, this zone looks great for me to potentially build a swing trade. Right, hope that makes sense. And that is basically the technical analysis on Ethereum. Thanks, brother. Been waiting for you. Sam Ham, welcome to the live stream. Dr. MC, hi, Dewald. Do you think we retest 90K level? I have gone through the Bitcoin technical analysis during the beginning of the live stream, so just rewind a little bit and you go check it out. I still think that there's a slight higher probability to go higher than claim the $90,000 area, but I mean, it's all just a game of probabilities. So if price does fall down, we do have levels to watch out for down a little bit lower. Okay, legends, another coin. BTC is testing my patience. Yes, I mean, it's just not hitting the levels properly. Okay, BTC is very frustrating to trade today. Okay, it's back at the lows again today. Okay, so we need to, okay, when you switch on your weekly levels, put on your fib retracements. Okay, I'm still waiting for my alarm. You can see that I have an alarm set over here at the 1.236, which is basically almost by that weekly level that I'm watching. So I want to see if price falls down here, how we are going to react over here. I want to see how you've got a weekly level, you have the 1.236. I want to see how we're going to react in this zone. Okay, you will also be tapping the 0.382 when you do a fib from the low to the high. Okay, you also have confluence with a 0.382. Okay, which we may have tapped already. Depending on how you pull it, you might not have tapped it. But it would be nice to see how price is going to react in this zone. And if it gets nasty, 1.618, 50% fib level. Okay, so we do have the levels to the downside to keep an eye on. I do like this pivot, okay, the range low. Really like the range low, and this is why I'm still keeping an eye here on the 2 extension together with the 0.618, because this range low strategy I often speak about, where you could potentially see that tap and go, right? You want to tap it and go. If price comes back down and it taps this level for a second time, then you increase the probabilities of coming to $90,000. Okay, so you really want the bounce to happen maximum in this zone over here, because once you've increased the probabilities, okay, you tap this level multiple times. Yes, you could get a bounce at the 786. Okay, I'm not writing it off, but you do increase the probability of coming to fill the inefficiency over here. So you want the bounce to happen in this zone. You want the bounce to happen there. Make sure that you have your trend set as well. Put on your alarms. And let's check it out. Okay, so that's basically just a quick recap here on the price of Bitcoin, but I mean, it's just coming back down again. Wanted to see what is CVD4 doing on the smaller time frames. Okay, still massive bullish CVD building up. I just want to see what we're doing on the 5-minute time frame. It's taking a little while to load up today. Okay, but I did spot some local berries CVD. Let's just wait for that to load up. Cool, legends. Next 2 altcoins that I am looking at. Yes, Mariella, trade on Bluffin. Links down in the description. That's also where you get the lowest trading fees and biggest sign-up bonuses. Davey, okay. 3787 is also a daily level in ETH confluence with 1.382. Yes, definitely when you build up that confluence, when you have daily levels, FIB retracements, all aligning at a specific zone, that's where the bounce becomes very powerful. Okay, cool. Not even a big drop. I mean, yeah, this is not a big drop, right? This is not a big drop. Legends, there's another altcoin that I'm keeping an eye on. Like I've shown you here on ETH, okay? Just remember, this could be the bounce, right? This could be the bounce. I don't know, but it has tapped the 1.38236, which is a bouncing area, and I wouldn't be surprised if ETH does that, because then I'm going to just say, you tap the 1.236. It would be nice to at least tap the 50% FIB level as well. I want to see the levels hit, and then you get momentum to the upside. So it is a bit frustrating that it's not hitting the FIB level properly, the 50% over here. Okay. I'm also looking at AR. Okay. AR still very interesting. I still have my spot back from much lower down below, but I am considering opening up a swing trade here on weeks or bluffing. I'll see, right? And this is the retracement. Okay, so let me just take well, let me just extend this. This is the train station that we've left. Okay, so AR is still lagging behind. So first of all, what I want to show you guys, where are we with AR? Okay, there's Mr. AR over there. AR is one of those tokens that has broken out from the train station, but it has not claimed the March highs just as yet, and I still think that it has a probability and a high chance to find upwards momentum, to at least come and claim the March highs. It has a beautiful 5-wave structure, it has a beautiful 3-wave corrective structure, and you have left the train station, okay, and it's currently consolidating above. Right, so now I zoom into the smaller time frames to see, well, is there opportunity there? Okay, so let's take the scribble out. Let's go on to the 1 hour time frame. Okay, this is what I'm looking at, legends. We can even do the 4 hour time frame. Okay, so now, and you can see where my entry is for AR. So this is my spot entry over here that I opened up, a fresh spot trade that I opened up here. So I think for now this entry is relatively safe. But I can tell you guys now, I do not have a stop loss on AR, because this is a coin that I intend to hold for a little bit longer. If, worst case scenario, it comes down like that, which I think has a low probability, I will buy more. Okay, I just want to put it out there. I do not have a stop loss here. I will buy up the dips and it will drag my entry price down. So I still have dry powder on the side, but I am very interested on what's going to happen here more locally. So let's zoom into the price action over here on the 4 hour time frame. That was just a breakout. You can take that out. So first things first, there's a trend that is forming. Okay, if you do not know what to do over here, there's a beautiful trend running here to the downside. A little bit steep, but a trend nonetheless, especially if you zoom into the smaller time frames. You can see it's a nice trend forming here. Okay. Okay. Woo, let's just try this again. Okay, take the brushes out. Can you guys see? Beautiful trend. Okay, already has 1-2 taps. Let's see if it's going to break out. But then this is now where things gets interesting for me. So I'm counting this as a corrective structure. Okay, A, B, C, right? 3-wave structure to the downside. We have had a reaction at each FIB retracement so far. We got a reaction at the 786, we got a small reaction at the 1-to-1 extension, and you can see how AR is just holding the 1.236 over here, a very, very common corrective structure target. What I would like to see, okay, for me to open up my swing trade with high confidence, is I want to see us hit the 1.618, okay, or even dip below the 1.382, where I will start nibbling at the swing trade to do this, because I want us to claim the liquidity below that low. maybe even that low, right? Because people that's played momentum here to the upside, where do you think they've put their stop losses? They put their stop losses over here. So it would be nice for AR to break down, get acceptance back above, right? There's your long trade. You sweep up the liquidity, you stop all the longs out, and then it rockets to the upside to potentially even go and claim the March highs. Okay, so what I'm trying to highlight over here is this could be a trade, okay, that can be insane to the upside. Because if you play, well, this is what I'm planning to do. If you play this scenario right, okay, it could give you insane momentum to the upside. Okay, as a day trader, yes, I will take some profits by the highs. If I had to get into a trade in this zone, I will scoop some off the table just to at least cover my fees, whatever the case might be. But I mean, guys, I just want to paint the picture. If this breakout is successful and Bitcoin dominance starts dropping, and the planet starts aligning and you play your cards right over here, it could be a trade that sends you over here. Okay, so you do not need a lot of capital and a big position size with a trade that is 100%, potentially. Okay, potentially 100%. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed in the market, and right, but this is the potential trading setup that I'm looking at for AR. Okay, and right, I'm just going to trade this with great risk management. And this is potential 100% trade here to the upside because it's one of those tokens that have not taken the March high as yet. And it's for me, a very strong fundamental token that's just lagging behind. And this is why I'm so interested to trade or look for trading opportunities inside of this local structure. Okay, very interested to see how deep, okay, this retracement is going to go. And the level that I preferably want to see get hit is sweeping up that pivot. Okay, if I see this price action and you get acceptance back above this pivot, okay, not as price is falling, I want to see like it needs to give me a reaction like it's getting over there. It needs to dip below, get a reaction, get above this low. I'm gonna say, ooh, it looks great. It looks absolutely fantastic, right? So this is what I'm looking at on AR. And I know there was a couple of people that asked for some technical analysis on AR. So I am looking for an epic trade in this zone. Okay. Then I have to consider, Dewald, well, what if we don't get the bullish bounce? Okay. Because I can tell you guys now, if I see this price action, guess where my stop loss is going to be? If I get stopped out, okay, I will get stopped out. I will take the knock on the chin. Okay, I am not going to move my stop loss down and add to my position. I will rather take the knock on the chin over here if price moves against me. Okay, and I will look for a fresh entry to the downside. And I will look at the fib from the low to the high. And I will look at this pivot and this pivot over here in confluence with a 50% and 0.618. Because what if this is an end of an impulse and this is a larger corrective structure to the downside that can get a bounce from one of these two zones over here? Okay, I would rather take the knock and get out of the trade than be underwater this deep and start and keep on adding to my position. Okay, I will attempt a trade over there and it might go. And if I get stopped out, I will attempt a trade over here. So I would rather get stopped out once, twice, and maybe on a third attempt, okay, we get the momentum to the upside. But I am going to attempt each long over there if I see the price that I want to see, because it could bounce here by the 1.618 and just leave the train station and it's gone. You might be one of those traders that's waiting for the 0.618. It bounces here on the 1.618 at $23 and it just leaves without you. And then you have to FOMO into the trade. Okay, so that's why it's important not to risk more than what you can afford to lose, so that you can be stopped out multiple times, but you know that once you get the trade and you get the entry and it starts taking off, okay, I can tell you guys now This potential profit over here, okay, with momentum to the upside will pay for any stop loss that I take to the downside, plus massive profits in my bag, because I do not risk more money than what I can afford to lose. If you're going to 10x every time over here with your entire account, yes, okay, you might just break even when you hit this level because of all the losses that you suffered trying to get into the long. Right, cool. So that is the one token that I'm keeping an eye on. Guys, AR, pay attention. It is lagging behind. I am very bullish on AR. It is trading above the train station or the accumulation zone at the moment. And what if it just chops? It gets that one liquidity grab and then it continues. Okay, so pay attention. That's one nugget that I wanted to drop over here. Okay. Ooh, wait a minute. So this is okay. Tia, yes, I will look at Tia. Have you seen Move? Not yet. Normal people. Okay, washing machines, clothes, intelligent people use back apps. Right. Legends, the next trade I want to highlight, yes, you've said it. Shashank, you said it, is Leia. Okay, very, very, very interesting what's happening here at the moment on Layer or Layer AI. Let me just call it Layer AI because some people tell me I pronounced the name incorrectly. It doesn't matter. You know exactly which token I'm talking about. Layer AI. Okay. Ooh, I remember saying, and I can't remember if it was in Friday or Thursday's live stream. Okay, it had these little choppiness fake outs here to the upside, not really convincing me that it's breaking out properly. No high time frame candles closed above this trend. Okay, it was a bit concerning to me. And then when I looked at the structure, I remember in Friday or Thursday's live stream, I said, what would be nice on Layer AI, okay, while we were trading, can't remember, over here somewhere, is to sweep up all of these lows. That would be absolutely fantastic because everyone that's attempting longs here at the moment, okay, where do they have their stop losses? Yeah, this is where they have their stop losses. So it would be nice to dip down below, stop everyone out that's attempting a long here on Layer AI, and then break the trend to the upside. So now the areas that I'm interested in. Okay, when I take a FIB retracement to work out how deep can the retracement go, okay, from the high to the low to the high, okay, FIB retracement. Now we have the 1-to-1 extension, very good strong level, 1.236, and an extended FIB retracement or a corrective retracement, 1.618. Okay, so I don't know if we're going to come down this deep, but I can tell you guys now, I am very interested in the 1-to-1 extension over here. Okay, just no financial advice. Really interested in the 1-to-1 extension and the 1.236 because of that little pivot over there. Okay, it would be nice to sweep up that pivot as well. But there's also a pivot. So first area that I'm going to pay attention to, if price dips down, and it finds consolidation at the 1-to-1 extension, I might, open up another swing position on Bluffin or Weeks, right? I know I have a swing position open somewhere. I just can't remember on which exchange, right? I also do have a spot bag of Layer AI. So, but I'm planning to open up a swing position, like a 2x, max 3x position, okay? Preferably a 2x position. So I'm going to be paying attention to 1.6 cents and then to the 1.236 over here. So these are the levels that I'm very interested in on Layer AI at the moment. I'm not sure if we are going to tap the 1.618, but if we do, I just want to see something. I just want to take a FIB here from this low to the high. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to look great if we tap the 1.618. And this is why I'm more interested in these two levels, specifically the one-to-one extension. This is the level that I will be watching like a hawk. Okay. I also want to make sure that I have my alarm set over there before it hits that level, because I want to know what's going to happen when we hit that level. Right. How's price going to react over there? I just want to see another FIP pull from this pivot to the high. I mean, yeah, and this is also why I like the one-to-one extension. Okay, you have the 0.618, you have the one-to-one extension, and you have that little pivot over there, right? So if I see reaction, price slowing down, okay, I will attempt a little swing trade over here to potentially go, because I rather want to catch an entry over here than wait for the breakout, okay, because then I have a higher entry. So I would rather try an attempt over here, get the upwards momentum, protect my position, and if I get stopped out, I will have another attempt, but at least I'll get stopped out at break even. You got the power of swing failure patterns is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, you dip below the level, you get acceptance back above, you know where to put your stop loss. Okay, this little small loss over here, I can tell you guys now, is nothing in comparison to playing the breakout over here and having to put your stop loss here. Okay, now you have a massive loss that you can occur. You have a fake out, it stops you out, and then you're like, oh crap. Okay, what is happening with Bitcoin? Is it tanking? Oh, it's hitting the level. It's hitting the level. Can we do a live trade here together? Hitting the level. Okay, it's now just hit the 1.236. It would be so nice to hit the weekly level. Really, really nice to hit the weekly level, which is not tapped just as yet. I'm watching Dewald in 480p from an old Nokia. BTC going 500 or 8K. Finn, okay. At least I hope you can see the levels and the lines that I'm drawing over here. Let's shine. Okay, legends. If price dips below, okay, I would like price to at least hit the weekly level over here, but I mean, it has tapped the 1.236. I would like price to do that and get acceptance back above. You know where to put your stop loss. I can protect position if we get upwards momentum. Okay. You have now claimed the liquidity below this pivot. So it would be nice just to tap the weekly level. I just don't like it when the price front runs my levels. Okay. It's been doing that the whole time today. It's just front running, and then eventually it taps. So it would be nice to see that little candle here to the downside and then get acceptance back above. If I see that price action, okay, you dip below, you get acceptance back above, then I know where to put my stop loss. I know where to enter. And I will definitely be taking profits. Let's see how far the VWAP is from us. TP1 will definitely be the VWAP. Okay. There's your VWAP. It might do something like this depending on how price reacts. TP1, definitely TP1. Also underbelly resistance over here. Just don't front run. Okay, it has tapped the 1.236. Okay, so there's always that possibility for a front run over here. And sometimes I do miss out on trades because I wait for my level and it doesn't get tapped. And again, I'm going to tell you guys now, I'm not entering the long until it taps my level. And if it runs away from me, I know that there's always another trading opportunity around the corner. Okay. Right. So layer AI, guys, just to finish and wrap it up over here, these are the levels that I'm watching. Okay, on Mr. Layer AI, I would like to see the one-to-one extension. That would be very nice. Okay, one-to-one extension, 618, beautiful impulse, corrective structure, and then you can continue momentum to the upside. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, whichever one. Okay, but I want to be in the third wave or the C wave. Cool. Now, legends, let's do a couple of altcoin requests. Okay, and remember, if you guys would like to come and trade, what is this? Layer AI and AR, they are both available on Weeks and in Bluffin. Links down in the description. Also, your way to support the channel. Okay. Cool. UMA. People want UMA. Okay. UMA, USDT. Let's do this for the legends. Okay. Nice little retracements. I mean, UMA has done some amazing things to the upside already. Okay. I still think UMA has some gas in the tank for another high. I mean, UMA definitely has the potential to come and claim the March highs, but there is the 1.618 when you take this as a 1, 2, and this is the 3 to the upside. Maybe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It taps the 1.618. It makes an ABC correction. Okay, then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes up for one more high. Okay, taps the 2 fib extension over here, and then it makes a larger ABC. It comes and bounce on the trend once again. Okay, and then it continues momentum to the upside. It's not to say that it has to come and claim the March highs straight away. But I will be paying attention to that 1.618, and I do think it still needs to go and claim that level. Okay, so now on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so this could be a 1, 2, 3. It's forming the fourth wave over here. Okay, what you want to see, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. Okay, so you need to take a fib from this pivot to the high, because that is not a flat. That week went way too high to be a flat. Let me just see if you take a fib from the high to the low. Reverse it. If it tapped the 1.618, it's not a flat to the upside. Yes, it tapped the 1.618, so this is the end of the impulse. Okay, so what I would do is, in Elliott wave theory, when you're potentially looking at a 1, 2, 3, and this is now the formation of the fourth wave, it has common targets of the 382, maximum target of the 50% fib level. So from a maximum perspective, you want to see a bounce at $3.3. Great load up zone. Okay, speculating on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go and hit the 1.618. Okay, common bouncing area, also the 0.382 at $3.6. So this to me is load up zone, and if it loses this area, load up zone. Okay, invalidation for fourth wave. If this is a 1, 2, 3, fourth wave is not allowed to tap the 0.618. Okay, so load up zone, invalidation. That's the simplest way that I can put it. As soon as it taps the 0.618, okay, it also can't be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then a 3, because this second 1, 2 is massively larger than this 1, 2 over here. So the best structure here at the moment looks like it is load up zone, invalidation, target. Okay, that's the simplest way that I can put it. India's best moustache in YouTube. Right, we're going to get block accept. Cool, legends. KDA. People want to look at KDA, right? Let's go and look at KDA for the legends. KDA USDT. Let's do it. Mods needs mod. Yes, I'm reading through the comments over here and I'm just like, okay, people are having a conversation. There's nothing for me to actually acknowledge. If Santa, for instance, make Dewald your daddy asking for a friend. Whew. Right, guys, let's do Mr. KDA over here. Okay, KDA. I mean, I know that we've been talking about KDA. I've been talking about KDA. Andy's been talking about KDA. I mean, okay, the best zone obviously was here when we spoke about KDA. Myself and Andy spoke about KDA over here. This was the zone. And if you have an entry over here, I would be patient because this is just a correction and it can continue momentum back to the upside. Okay, don't let red candles scare you, especially if you have an insane entry like this. Strangely enough, I do see people, okay, that have amazing entries from an accumulation perspective. You know, imagine having an entry over here at 52 cents. Imagine having that entry. And when they see this, they get fearful and they cash out. And then price consolidates and it continues. And they're like, F, what did I do? Why? Why did I sell my bag when I saw that? Because it's human emotion. The fear kicks in. People get scared, right? But I mean, it's already done massive things here to the upside. So the retracement can get nasty. Okay, so what I'm looking at, let's go to the 4-hour time frame. I just want to look at the structure. Okay. Ooh, 1, 2. It's very similar to the one that I've just analyzed. Okay. Right. It's busy potentially with a fourth wave here to the downside because I can count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. Okay. Higher, low. Right. You had the breakout. This is potentially your wave 1. That's your 2. This is the third wave to the upside, most amount of volume. So what basically is happening or potentially happening over here is that it's forming a fourth wave. So now what you want to do is you want to take a fib from number 2, because the fifth wave is not done. You have to take your fib from number 2 and not that low to the high. And now you can identify some areas of confluence. Okay, so I like I've said just now, that's your load up zone. That's your invalidation. Simple as that. Okay, for me at least, it's as simple as that. Right, all the times KDA was mentioned and I missed that trade. Mr. Pac-Man, yes, I know that there's a lot of people. When myself and Andy spoke about KDA over here, there's a lot of people that just said, no, it's a fake out. You know, there was still a lot of bearish momentum inside of the market when most of the coins were trading in this zone. No one really wanted to buy. Everyone was still too scared. Okay, but I mean, beautiful break of trend over there, right? From a spot perspective, I mean, that was just such a beautiful trade. But now you need to, you know, a fourth wave, if this is the top of 3, and maybe that could even be, let me just check something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, there's so many structures inside of here, but the one thing that I am interested in is if I take a fib from that high to the low. Okay, so anyways, I'm just going to keep it simple, legends. I'm not going to try and overcomplicate it, but basically you are still potentially waiting for the fourth wave. Okay, and usually the fourth wave is similar in time than the second wave. Okay, so if this is the impulse in 1 and this is the corrective structure in time, the fourth wave can still take a while before it shoots up. Okay, be patient. This can still take a while. It's most likely going to form a nice little trend that you can track. Okay, it's most probably going to form a nice little trend and you can play the breakout. So be patient with this trade. Okay. And I do think that KDA can be traded, if I'm not mistaken, on, let me check here, on Bluffin, yes, and on, not sure about weeks, KDA. Yes, KDA can be traded on both Bluffin and weeks, links down in the description. Okay, so in simplicity, 382, 50%. Okay, this is the maximum target for a fourth wave. Okay, 50%. Let me just drag it. is considered in Elliott wave theory the maximum target. If you tap the 0.618, you most likely, okay, you could get definitely a bounce, but you can form a lower high and continue momentum to the downside. Okay, and that's why I'm saying this is a great load up zone, speculating on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, where you're still going to come and claim the high. And I mean, these fifth waves can get very punchy and explosive to the upside. But I will be a little bit more patient. It's just had to drop now. Price still needs to consolidate and form that trend for the breakout. It's still very young. You still need a little bit more data. Okay, cool. Right, what else? What else? Where's my YouTube feed? I can't see the comments. Let me just find you guys over here. Oh, here we go. PRQ, yes, I know Andy has spoken about PRQ as well. Flux, I will do a Flux one quick, okay? I know Andy has spoken about PRQ in his live stream, so go check out Andy in his live stream, but I think it's one of those ones that he highlighted last week for potential breakout. Okay, I'm not sure why, but PRQ has been listed on 𝗞𝗍𝗃 as being delisted soon, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's bearish news, if they're just doing a name change, a rebranding. Okay, it could be nothing serious, but I did see that there's a notification on 𝗞𝗍𝗃 that PRQ will be delisted. Okay, hence I did not take the PRQ trade. Right. What was the one that was mentioned here now? Flux. Let's go and have a look at Flux for the legends. Oh, 10% retracement today. I mean, oh, I mean, ooh, it would be nice if Flux comes back to the train station. That would be really nice. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this is just such an ugly structure to count from an Elliott wave perspective. But I mean, this looks like 1, 2, 3, potentially forming 4. Let's just take a fib here from the low to the high. Oh, now you see, now this looks great. This looks really great. If this is a, oops, let me just put that back. Okay. If this is a 1, 2, 3, and it's now busy forming a fourth wave, the 382 and the 50%, especially the 50%, lines up beautifully with the top of the accumulation zone, okay? Sweeping up the liquidity below that low, right, for potential bounce to the upside. So that looks really great. I just want to see something here on the smaller time frames. I want to go into the 1 hour and just see if I can count this corrective structure to the downside. A, B, C, A, B, C. Okay, well, there's two ways to do this, right? Either this was the end of the impulse, and this is all part of the correction. I just want to see if there's some areas of confluence together with the fib levels. Okay, if I take a fib retracement from this high to the low to the high. Okay, so I mean, we do have, if this is the corrective structure, A, B, C here to the downside, we did just tap the 1.236, and that is where price is currently getting the reaction. Okay, a little bit further down, the 1.618, pay attention. Okay, and it's not to say that it just has to tap the level and go. Sometimes what happens is it goes down deep below, and then it gets acceptance back above, sweeping up the liquidity below these lows. Okay. But it is getting the reaction at the 1.236, which is a common corrective structure target. Okay, but it would be nice to hit this fib level, the 382. It would be nice to hit the zone over here at 77 cents. Okay, but the best area that I see is at 75 cents. That is the golden ticket for me over there. Okay, which is also in alignment with the 50% fib level. Well, not really, but it's close enough. It's close enough. Okay, the 1.236 has confluence with a 0.382. So ABC, and you could get the upwards momentum. There is a trend that you can track at the moment. Okay, a trend. It does look like it's forming a nice trend over there. It only has 2 taps, but it does look nice, the momentum. So you could also just have your trend, set your alarm, wait for the breakout. Okay. The beautiful thing, okay, there's always, can you look at not? Yes, I will go have a look at the moment. Guys, there's always pros and cons to each trading strategy. Swing failure patterns, okay, if you SFP here from the lows, okay, price comes down, dips below, it gets acceptance back above. You could have an amazing entry with great risk management. That is the pro about swing failure patterns. The con about a swing failure pattern is it requires a lot of screen time, and some people really struggle with it and they get stopped out multiple times before price actually leaves, because sometimes it makes those triple bottoms and then it leaves, keeps on stopping you out. So it does require a little bit more patience and persistence to get into the trade, even if you get stopped out. And a lot of people get fearful, especially after the third pivot. When you have those 3 pivots to the downside, okay, triple bottom, a lot of people get fearful and they don't want to enter the trade anymore because they've lost too much money, and then price leaves without them. So each trading strategy has pros and cons. The pro about swing failure patterns is it gives you potentially the best entry. Okay, because you could potentially even you grab a, it comes down to the 1.618 and it does that. You have a stop loss, you enter, and then price goes to the trend. Okay, you can already protect your position. So now you have a free trade to the upside. Right. If you then play the break of trend over here, guess where your stop loss has to go? Below the lows. So you have to play with a smaller position size so that if you get stopped out, you only lose 1 to 2% of your portfolio. Right. The pros about the trend, the break of trend strategy, is that you don't care what happens over here. Okay, you have a lot more freedom to do what you need to do before you pay attention to the chart. It does not require a lot of screen time. So a lot of people that I know use the D-line strategy are typically people that have 9-to-5 jobs. They don't have a lot of time to look at the charts every single day and draw levels and daily levels and weekly levels. All they want to see is the formation of a trend. They put their alarm and they will look at their phone, or they will open up their charts once the alarm goes off. It doesn't matter what happens over here. Price can fall, it can make circles, it can go up and down, but when it hits the trend and the alarm goes off, they'll make a trading decision. Okay, so pros and cons. Pros and cons. Right, stop twice trying to speculate the front runs. Yes, I mean, we all know that those front runs happens, Pac-Man, and then it's that thing of, I should have just waited for the level, okay? Because it's just been chopping here to the downside, and then, but then it's also that conundrum. You wait for the level, it doesn't get hit, and price runs away from you. But I think that is why it's so important for me, specifically as a trader, to protect my position as quickly as possible. So if I had to play the SFP here from the 1.236, okay, let's say I entered over there with a lacquer tight stop loss, right? My position would now already be protected. And I can tell you now, here on the 15-minute time frame, okay, as soon as we claim these highs, I will already start TPing. I will already start taking profits. If not already taking profits with this momentum here to the upside, to at least cover the fees, okay? I mean, when you have a beautiful trade, sometimes you don't even have to wait for a profit area to get hit. But if you had to enter over there, okay, and where price is at the moment, and your stop was literally below that wick, okay, you have a 10.4 risk to reward. It means for every $100 that you risked in this trade, you are now up $10. Oh, $1,000, $1,000 for every $100 that you've traded times 10. Okay, so this is why if I entered with some decent capital over here, let's, for a lack of a better word, okay, because the risk management is so insane, a 0.07% stop loss, okay, you can you know, enter this trade with quite a lot of leverage and still have good risk management. Okay. And right, I mean, the target from a planning perspective would be these local highs over here because it's a scalp, it's a day trade, right? You get in, you get out, you happy with your profits because you don't want to be that person that, you know, it just rolls back down. You're like, crap, I had so much profits and I didn't take profits. So what I'm trying to say over here is if I had to enter this trade, even if I do not take profits to the upside, I forget, I didn't put in my TPs properly, I know that I will still be stopped out at break even with no loss. Okay, because I protect position very, very quickly. I'm very defensive with my cash. It does come with pros and cons. The con is sometimes it gives me those bottoms that keeps on stopping me out, and then price turns around where I have to enter multiple times. But I can be a very persistent trader. Okay. Right, but it looks like it wants to go here to the upside. Okay. I mean, it tapped. Let me just take that out the way. I mean, you know, this is now the front run. Is it going to claim the highs over here, find resistance, maybe here by the VWAP? Always a great profit-taking area. Maybe it finds resistance by the VWAP, and then it comes to claim the weekly level. I'm very interested in the weekly level. I want price to dip below, claim the weekly level, get acceptance back above so that I know where to put my stop loss. I also want price to get acceptance back above the 1.236. But now this again, you know, look at this. And maybe we'll get one more low. But if it front runs me, like I said, there's always another trade around the corner. Doesn't bug me. Okay, not in the least. If I miss the trade, I look for a new opportunity. Okay. Yeah, that's working fine with Pepe swings. Waving dollars. Finn Gurby, yeah, no, I stuffed up that math royally over there. Okay. XMR. XMR. Why does that sound so familiar? XMR USDT. Let's do KuCoin. XMR. Let's look at it on the daily. Just wait for that to load up. Just need to switch the VWAP off over here. 1, 2. I mean, what does look good over here, it's not a clean chart. And I mean, okay, there's the dinosaur. Okay, so what I like over here is the RS flip. I really like the RS flip over here. Okay, can make it a little bit thinner, but okay, now this is what I like. You have struggled to break this, okay, multiple times. You've struggled to break through this resistance. It was like a wall, an impenetrable wall that didn't want to break. Now you have finally broken through. And for bullish momentum to continue, and I mean, this is basic technical analysis where you do a RS flip. You flip resistance back into support. So any movement down into this zone is potentially a great buying opportunity. You have broken out with high volume. Now price needs to find and flip this area into support for momentum to the upside. Okay, if price is going to dip down below and retest it as resistance, you're going to be back inside the range. This is the accumulation zone. So it's now finally broken out, and it now needs to find support above the level to flip it into support. Okay, so now I just want to see what's cooking here on the smaller time frames. Oh, very wiki. Okay, I mean, I don't know what to do over here. There's no technical analysis over there, legends. It's just, what is that? Okay, it's just wiki up and down. Okay, let's just call it wiki up and down, right? So for me, from a spot perspective, or from a low leverage swing position, okay, any dip inside of this zone is potentially a great load up zone. Okay. I mean, sometimes the fibs and stuff don't even make sense with these wicks, but I mean, oof, I like the 50% 618 area over here. Okay. Because you now want to flip this zone into support. It has broken out with high volume. It's a really good sign. You have some bullish momentum over here, higher lows. Okay, you've now formed a higher high. You're breaking market structure. Okay, you've formed a higher high. You want to see a higher low form over here and momentum to continue to the upside. So this zone is potentially a great zone to build a position. Right. That's basically what I see here on XMR. Can you look at Puke? PEAQ. Is it this one? Also KuCoin. Is this it? Let me try again on a different exchange. Puke USDT. Let's try Mexi. Let's try BitGet. Okay, if I don't have enough data, I'm not going to analyze it. Okay, so we'll look at something else. Sorry, legends. If I don't have enough data, I'm not even going to waste my time. Giovanni, sorry, my man. I mean, there's nothing to analyze over here. Okay, there's nothing to analyze over here, right? The only thing that you can do is take a fib retracement from this pivot to the high, okay, and then okay, you have a nice little consolidation area at the 0.618 at the 50%. So any retracement in this zone is potentially a great, because always look to the left to find support, but I mean, there's not a lot of price data. This is the only price action that I can see that can provide support with momentum to the downside. You can maybe have a trend and you play the breakout, but I mean, there's not much else to analyze over here. Sorry about that. It's just, it is what it is, right? There's not a lot of price data to analyze. Hi, Dewald, can you look at NM? Yeah, please check NOT. Thank you, Dewald. Okay, I will go check out NOT first because I know you have been asking for that for quite some time. Not USDT. Okay, Mr. Not. Ooh, come on, load up. Here we go. I actually did do some technical analysis on this. Why not? Right. Okay, you have broken trend. Okay, now. I don't know if that is the low or if that's just when it was listed. So I don't know if I can use this low. So I'm just going to work with this little structure over here. Okay, so you have momentum here to the upside. That is your momentum to the upside. And okay, potentially 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe it's building another 1, 2. So it looks like it wants to pop at some stage. But I would say a sweep of this low would be absolutely fantastic. Okay, sweep of the low, okay, bounce on the trend, and you get momentum to the upside. That would be fantastic. It doesn't look like it respects the D-line strategy nicely. But I mean, on the lower time frames, just want to see what it looks like on the 4-hour. Okay. So this momentum here to the upside is now what I refer to as the momentum line. Okay. So for this structure to remain bullish, you don't want to lose the trend. And any pullback back into this line is what I call the home line. Home buys are usually the best buys. It's also where people are too scared to buy. Right. So from a simplicity perspective, if price like over here, okay, you didn't have the trend over there yet because these two pivots formed the trend. But I can tell you now, a lot of people were scared to buy over there. But look how beautifully you swept the liquidity. Okay, below those lows, there's stop losses. You sweep up the liquidity and you get momentum back up. So it would be nice. Look at this. Right, same scenario. It would be nice if it comes back down, it bounces on the trend, it sweeps up sweeps up the liquidity. It looks like a fake out, and it continues momentum to the upside. Any pullbacks into this trend line could potentially be a great load up zone from a simplicity perspective. Okay. So that is what I see here on NOT. Just want to see something here quick. Yeah. I just don't know if that is the corrective structure. The candles here is just very confusing. I mean, what is this week? This week, I would just say, you know, if it comes down and it taps the 1.618 and it gets acceptance back above that pivot, so it dips below and it gets acceptance back, it starts trading above that level, you most probably going to have a break of trend over there, right? If it front runs the zone. So that's basically the technical analysis here on Mr. Not. What about 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽? Mariela, join the Legends community. Yes, join the Legends Pro community. First link down in the description, where myself and Andy do daily education and technical analysis, sharing the setups that we're watching on a daily basis, and also the exchanges, guys, Bluffin and Weeks. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. I've got a couple of trades open here on Weeks still, and I think I'm still in my swing trade from TIA. And then I am opening up a little bit of a massive. Okay, let me not use the word massive, because then people go crazy. I'm opening up a small swing trade on TIA, on Layer AI, on Bluffin. Okay, right, Legends. Let me just get my YouTube feedback over here. Hi, Dewald, can you look at Mafia? The Legends here really like that altcoin for some reason. You know how often I get the Mafia request on this live stream? Okay, let me go and have a look at Mafia for the Legend. I'm almost sure it's the altcoin where I don't like the technical analysis, but let's go check it out. Okay. Ooh, oh. Okay, so I mean, very, very similar scenario as some of the other altcoins. Okay. This is now support. This line over here is now support. You have found the floor. Okay. You struggled to break out. Struggle. So you can see its resistance. Okay, that's the struggle. It's the ceiling. It's the roof that it struggled to break out. So what you would like to see is an RS flip over here. So potentially any dips in this area is potentially a great load up zone, because this area now needs to hold as support. If it has any chance of finding upwards momentum and claiming these highs, and even this high over here, or even higher highs over here, this area needs to hold. Okay, because if it gets acceptance back inside the range, it could continue ranging like it did over here. So you now have high volume with a breakout to the upside. Now what you want to see is a RS flip. You flip resistance into support. It needs to hold this zone, and in this zone is potentially a great load up area for continuation to back to the upside. Hope that makes sense. Just, you know, that's basic technical analysis, just doing a simple RS flip. Okay, from a FIB perspective, or from a Fibonacci FIB retracement perspective, okay, nice little, I mean, you all know how powerful the 0.618 can be. So if it, you know, taps that 0.618, it starts slowing down, it starts consolidating. You could also have a trend over there. It breaks the trend. Okay, it could go and claim the highs and maybe even break that trend. I just want to see where I get that trend from. Let me just zoom into the structure. I almost probably got it from the log scale. Yeah. Okay, so that is actually where that's where it rejected. So on the logarithmic scale, it actually failed to break the trend. Can you guys see? So you have a pivot, it struggled, it didn't break out. Okay, so what you want to see is another attempt, and then it needs to go. Claim the high, and maybe even go to higher levels. Right, so I was just curious to see where did I get that trend from, because often on the regular scale, the trends don't look pretty. Okay, cool. That is what I see here on Mafia. It needs to do a RS flip, and it needs to do it soon. But I mean, it can still get choppy, right? It can still, slow down. It can still take a while before it gets upwards momentum. I don't expect this, okay? Right? It needs to slow, but I want to see the choppiness. I want to see the proof of support holding the level. Maybe it forms a nice, beautiful trend that you can play the breakout. But I mean, this is an important zone. If you are bullish on Mafia and you think it's going to do amazing things with a bull run that's still going to continue here to the upside, right? This is the zone that it needs to hold. $1.6. It needs to hold that zone. Right. PNUT. People are asking for PNUT. Bum bum. Ooh. Okay. Let's see what is cooking with Mr. Peanut over here. Some people are saying that this is the best meme coin since sliced bread. It's going to blow people's socks off. I don't know. I'm not a big meme coin trader. Okay. I've got 2 or 3 meme coins in my spot bags, but I like to trade layer 1s, layer 2s, great fundamental tokens. It literally found resistance again. Okay. Remember, I identified this resistance box some time back. Support, support, support. You lost it. Resistance, resistance. Okay. 0.618 is still a great zone. You haven't tapped the level quite as yet, just as yet. Okay. So it would be nice to tap the level properly, sweep up the longs over here. $1, basically $1. Okay. But I mean, there's not much to analyze here at the moment. Okay. It needs to break this resistance and flip it into support for continuation to the upside. It literally just rejected as we got there. But also it doesn't have enough data, right? It has very little data to analyze. What you could also do is this. Wait for the break of the trend. There's now a new fresh pivot that's made a lower high. And if you do not know what to do over here, wait for your alarm. Set your alarm. Okay, that's between it's a way better looking trend than the one over here. Okay, so set your alarm, play the breakout. And I mean, this is just a very important zone that it needs to claim. So simple and technical analysis there on Mr. Peanut. Remember, guys, if you'd like to come and trade these tokens, Bluffin and 𝗞𝗔, links down in the description. Okay, cool, legends. That is unfortunately all I have time for today. Thank you so much for joining. And maybe before I go, let's look at Myra, because I also want to look at Myro. I think you mean Myro. I don't even know if I'm still in that trade, but I mean, it's managed. If I get stopped out, Myro USDT. Let's have a look at Myro over here. I also want to see what's cooking. Oh, Myro is still there. Okay. I mean, this is the trade that that I took. I'm not sure who took this trade with me. Played the breakout. Okay. Stop is below the low. That's where the stop is supposed to go. And I mean, from a FIB retracement perspective, it still has a chance, right? It's now just tapped the 0.618 for the first time. Okay, I will start getting a little bit concerned when we tap the 0.88. Then I will make a decision. Do I cash out and get out of the position? Okay, or do I maybe add in this zone? Okay, but for now, it has broken trend. Still in the trade. It's still made a higher high, okay, compared to the high over here. If it makes a higher low, then momentum can still continue where you're breaking market structure. So I'm still in this trade. If I get stopped out, I didn't risk more than what I can afford to lose, but I am still here in the Myro trade. Right. Cool, legends. Thank you so much for joining. I see a lot of people are jumping off the stream already. And have a great evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are from the world. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's stream. And until then, cheers for now.